And Angelico, I think this is too thin to value, but I mean, you're really hoping to get called by a 4, you know? I think it's a big ask to get ace high to call as well. Just go for the bet of 70,000. I'd be very surprised to see ace high call in the spot. Like, that 9 of clubs is a very reasonable card to hit the turn bets. So, yeah, I think it's just a bad spot for Andreas to call.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Caribbean Poker Party 2019 main event. I'm offering some commentary on top of a previously released live event here to give you my insight as to what's happening. So, a different take on the tournament. If you missed episode 1, you can go back and watch that in a series, but you can also just jump in right now. There is no sort of reason you can't start the tournament midway through. So here we go. Without further ado, episode 2 of the Caribbean Poker Party main event.
Okay, that's a good flop for Ryan Riess. Philippe, who raised under the gun, is going to start with a check here. I think Ryan should check. I mean, he's got 3 of the aces and 2 of the kings. It's going to be tough to get a lot of money from Philippe. I think he should check. Yeah.
Huge advantage on. Does elect to check it back.
6 of the turn.
See a bit of frequency on this board, but you're going to check back sometimes. Ace king doesn't seem that.
And it's one of those spots for Philippe where, I mean, he completely misses the flop here. Ryan Riess is going to have some ace kings, some ace queens, and stuff like that. He could try and bluff out middling pairs, but he'd probably want to bet the flop if he wants to do that. So I'm assuming Philippe is done in the spot. Kaim, yeah. So this is a tournament that happened in November. At the Caribbean Poker Party main event. So this is the first day of coverage, but it was broadcast on Poker Go, which is a subscription service. Now Party Poker's released it on their YouTube channel now, so we get to do some commentary here on Twitch, but I feel like a lot of people haven't seen it, including myself. This is the first time I'm watching the coverage as well, so yeah, man. Ryan's going to be at 50,000. Philippe folds, yeah. Good folding. Pretty straightforward at this point. That is some cool hair, man. That's nice. Good execution on the hair, too. It's like a nice blend from black to pink to purple to black. It's good. I like it. I could play like the early edition Gladiator, but I don't think it's enough. And unfortunately, I can't stream Sunday this week. My parents are visiting, so I'm going to London on Sunday to then pick them up at the airport on Monday kind of early. Whoa, Ryan Riess with the kings. So I can't play like the million, the mini million, or the phase events today or tomorrow. It's kind of sad because I like those events.
Carlos with a very playable suited ace on the button.
Carlos is going to call with the ace-2 suited in position. I like it. Call or a re-raise is fine. And now Philippe is going to fold. I actually like the fold. I mean, we can, of course, see some pretty big hands here, but it's tough to play out of position ace-6 offsuit 3 ways. It's not great, especially this deep. It's like you don't get in any good spots. Queen-6 deuce. This is a really good flop for Ryan. Carlos picking up a pair. He's probably going to continue, and Ryan Riess got to feel very comfortable about his hand with the overpair. Can go for a bet or a check raise here too, but I think a bet is the normal line. What's up, Zimpa Demon Slayer? What do you think about the most likely signing of the Milan striker at Piatek? I'm so behind the times on what's going on with Spurs right now. I saw Harry Kane is out for quite a while with a surgery, which is frustrating. I know they're playing Liverpool tomorrow, which I'll be streaming, so I won't be able to watch. But I don't know anything about the signings coming up, man, so I'm kind of excited. Put the face cam in the top right corner. In a future stream, I can. Kind of ruins my overlay right now. There's no other cards here that you're missing because of the subs today and the BitLord and Top Dono. I don't have it set up on the other side, man. Ryan bets 80,000 on the turn, and Carlos, who's got to be a little frustrated at this point, he's had to make a couple folds. 2 times he's had to fold, and he correctly folded on the turn. But that can start to creep up on you a little bit of like, are these guys coming after me? Or, you know, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a call here. We do. I can't really blame him. He's got a pair. He's in position. Because an aggressive opponent. He calls again. What's up, Axiom Fox? How's it going, man? Ace on the river. Carlos with the 2-pair. Ryan Reese very unlucky with the pocket kings. What is he going to do? I don't think there's any value left to be had here with the kings. I think it's a check. Carlos surely will bet with ace deuce.
Whether he can squeeze some value here. And he thinks Carlos has a queen. May well like to bet here.
Wow.
And Carlos' hand
He does bet again.
Ryan has
He bets 214,000. Almost pot.
Not going to work out too well here. It's Carlos has aces up. Now a decision for him with just 300k more over the jam.
This is a very
It's cool.
thin
He
bet.
does go for the call. See, he might jam
From
there.
Carlos. Ryan, I guess assuming that Carlos doesn't have very many ace X left.
Doesn't have that many hands.
So going for a bet that makes it look like a bluff, but I mean, it seems very thin with the kings there. Raise, bet, bet, bet.
Double barrel.
With what ended up being an underpair on the river, it's that's thin. That's thin. And there we go. Carlos picking up a huge pot. Ryan Reese starting the tournament not so great. I do support Tottenham Hotspur, yeah. Looking forward to playing us tomorrow. And will you be watching the game? I'm going to be streaming, Aiden, actually. So I will be sweating the scoreline while I'm streaming, but going to be playing a bit. Yeah. Welcome, Axiom Fox. Hello, Ed K. What's up, man? What's up? $10,000 was the buy-in, Jake Cartman. $10,000. I should actually put that in the title. That's good clickbait and factually true. So we got to raise up. From Ryan Reese and a call from Adrius. Fours under the gun is actually kind of a frisky hand, to be honest. But we go to a flop. Queen 10-9.
2 hearts under the gun opener and a +1 peeler. Both players hit this flop a lot. Both are going to hate their hand on this kind of texture.
Adrius could bluff with the sevens here, and I think it's actually a pretty decent hand to do so. You need some bluffs in this situation, and having small pairs I think are good combinations to bluff with. Goes check, check.
Sure enough, action does check.
What's up, Raisinator? 2020 started great. We won the Gladiator just the other day for 12K, so very profitable start to the year, and yeah, man, feeling good.
Imagine this is just going to check through once again, and I'm sure the same action on the river, and we'll just be pleasantly surprised to see who wins this one with a pair of sevens.
And I don't... Yeah, it looks like it's going to go check, check.
That's about the only hand you can beat. Ace king or a
Fours against sevens. Adrius' sevens is going to take it down. There you go. Congrats on the score. Well deserved. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's already up on YouTube, actually, too.
In the Bahamas.
Pretty sure.
It's getting towards the end of the day in the sunshine. Not just, of course, the main event to play, but 2:15.
I need to message YouTube today.
Guaranteed satellites. One started at 3. Another one starting at 7 o'clock this evening for tomorrow's day 1B.
You need to understand.
Yeah, it's up there, man. 700 likes on the video. YouTube is lit up, dude. YouTube is lit up.
Those are $750 buy-ins. Yeah. 10K main event seat.
Alexandros, World Series of Poker Europe main event champion. Going to raise it up with the King Jack of Spades.
Man who's come close to millions of
And
entries
Angelico in the small blind with a familiar ace-queen offsuit.
Final table is in Montreal.
He's going to re-raise to 76,000.
Of course, a deep run.
Same size as last time. Now, Alexandros last time had ace-jack offsuit, but this time they have king-jack suited. Would definitely expect a continue here. I mean, it's a very nice hand. They're still very deep, so I would expect at least a call.
Copy of the hand these guys played before. That time Alex peeled the ace check. This time much more
Just so you guys know, it does time out links in the chat. So if you try and link something, it'll just come up as star on my chips. I know you're probably just linking my YouTube channel, so I appreciate that. Put it in there. What's up, Deuce? Deuce never lose. How's it going, man?
10-6-3. Complete opposite board to the last time these guys.
3-6-10. Both players miss. If I'm on Angelico here, I like continuation betting. Again, try and pretend the cards aren't there. Ace Queen, probably the best hand. Checking, you're going to put yourself in a lot of trouble. But Angelico decides to start with a bet here, out of position. And Alexandros thinking about it, but is going to check back. Starting stack was 1 million, yep. What's up, Crooksy? How's it going, man? Hello, hello.
Confident with this ace high, but again, I don't really see him betting this.
Excuse me.
Definitely check back some better hands, some pocket pairs. Doesn't have to take too much on this board. 8 on the end. Those middling connectors, 7-8. 7-9, 8-9, all improved. May Alex now like to bluff, try and knock out ace highs. Certainly can have some AX and 6X, perhaps check back twice.
All right. Check all the way down.
Pocket pairs.
Ooh. Did Alexandros bet the turn, guys?
Yeah,
He can bet 60,000 on the end.
per pot.
I mean, if I'm Angelico, I call here.
The situation
It doesn't
where
make too much
represents
sense to me.
quite a wide value range.
It's so hard to be unbiased when we can see the cards. But when you think about it, the board pairs 10 on the turn. 10 is likely to bet on the flop. Alexandros doesn't have very many 10s. So you've got to assume that Alexandros is betting like a small pair here. I don't necessarily hate the bluff either. You have king high, so but I think Angelico should call.
Nice call it is. Picking up. Just taking a stab.
There it is. All right. What's up, Gucci Mane Thug? How's it going, man? This happened 2 months ago, but we are on no delay with the chat. It was broadcast on Poker Go originally, so unless you have a subscription there, you know, probably haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, so. Doing well. Morning got off to a good start by winning a gift card on a slot stream. Crooksy, there you go, man. Printing with the gift card. Black Thunder says, I think Tottenham is going to be destroyed against Liverpool. Can't find a way for Mourinho to win this game. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't bet on Tottenham to win at even money. You know, I think Liverpool is a much better team right now, to be fair. You know, and I'm a Tottenham fan, but you got to be objective. What are you talking about, Jay Cartman? What are you talking about, bro? Angelico on the button with Jack 10. All right.
Jack 10. But 21,000 the bet. Ryan's curious with 5 of clubs in the small. This would be a little wide. But he's going to give it a go.
And Ryan Reese in the small blind going to 3-bet the 8-5 suited. This is a gangster 3-bet from Ryan Reese. Getting in there, getting active. Now Adrius in the big blind with 8s on a very difficult stack here, actually. 630,000. I mean, we can, of course, see the cards and know he was smashing Ryan Reese, but I think given what he knew at the time, that's a good fold. It's just you're in such tough shape when Ryan Reese has a big hand. And with the big blind having 600,000 there, it's very awkward. Do you move all in? Do you risk all 600,000? Do you just call? You know, and then you're left with an awkward 500K with 220 in the middle against a 3-bet hand. You're gonna have to fold so often on the turn. It's just it's a tough spot. And I like the Jack 10 offsuit folding as well. Ryan Reese making a move and it paying off there. Respect. Don't say Liverpool is. It's always Liverpool. Liverpool are. I'll try. I'll try. Make you sound more like a local when it comes to football. Yeah. Liverpool are. I make that mistake a lot on Twitter as well. I'll try, but I'm going to forget, but I'll try. I think Tottenham's going to beat Liverpool. I I hope you're right. I hope you're right. The accent will still give you away, but I'll let you off with that one. Okay. Feels like Ryan Riess is just trying to run over the table from my chips. He could be. I mean, maybe he feels like he has a big edge on all these opponents. I also, though, just think that, like, 8-5 suited, it's fine to mix in some of those plays sometimes. The kings, I don't really like the bet on the river. Of course, we can see the hands. That makes it easier. Sometimes you just get, like, a burst of hands that are good spots to play, and it makes you look really aggressive, and you're not. That's where I would lean, honestly, in terms of how Ryan Riess is feeling and what's going on. But you never know. Maybe he could be lighting it up. You know, it's you win the World Series of Poker main event, you probably have perma confidence in your game. You know, you're always going to be a winner no matter what. Basically, you're always a profitable player. The world always thinks you're a boss. You've already won 8 million. Like there's nowhere, there's nothing left to prove. You know, you're already killing it. So. So this is day 1A of the Caribbean Poker Player Party main event. As you can see, this is on Poker Go. So they get that Poker Go ad right now on the stream. There you go, Poker Go. Not sponsored. Don't have any links. Although I would take one, Poker Go. If you want to, should we do a deal? I think we should do a deal. I could sign up people to Poker Go. To be honest, I don't know why Poker Go is making an error. They should be getting some affiliate links out on Twitch. Big mistakes, man. Poker Go, hit me up. We got people. We got thousands of poker players that subscribe to your service. Hit me up with that affiliate link, man. Come on, chat. Tell them. Back to the action. King 6-7. Do it. Thank you, Sloppy Drew. Thank you, man. I needed something. So picking up the action, Alexandros in the big blind. Ryan Riess raised in the cutoff with ace-10. We can see Alexandros has the best hands right now. And I like check calling here. I mean, if he knew Ryan Riess had ace-10, he'd bet. But 7-5, not super vulnerable. Probably the best hand. But also good to induce some bluffs. You know, your hand is really good on a 7, on a 5, on a 4, probably on a 3, on a king, on a 6. You're loving your life. Ace isn't great, queen and jack or whatever. So I kind of like the check call, but he likes to go for bets, and Ryan Riess is just going to fold on the turn.
Ryan giving up the ace-10, no draw.
Alexandros picking up some chips on 979,000. Has the hair calmed down, dude? Nope. It's still up there. It's still up there, chat. Angelico folds Ryan Riess in the hijack with the 10s, raising it up. Andres folds the ace-8 there, which I think is a good fold. He could have considered it, but Michael Gagliano, Gags on the button with ace-7 suited. Can't fold this one, man. You got to play, and he is going to 3-bet to 75,000. Ryan Riess likes his hand. I don't think enough to make a 4-bet here, but probably a call and let's see a flop. That's how I assume he would approach this. And there it is. That's a call. To the flop. 226,000 in the middle. Jack 4 deuce. Dry board. Neither player hits this. No one's really going to be worried about a flop like this either. So if I'm Michael Gagliano, I'm going to continue betting with my ace-7 of hearts here. Not very big either. I would choose maybe like 75K or so. Looks like he chooses 80,000. Action back on Ryan Riess. And another similar situation here. It's just you have tens, you know, it's an easy call. Yes, sometimes your opponent has ace jack, king jack suited, aces, kings, queens, but like other than that, you're good. So you just call, let him continue bluffing with some hands, and then keep the pot small against the hands you're losing to. Turn 3 of diamonds, brick. Gags picks up a straight draw, so 5 would give him a straight. But that's it. So a little bit of a tough one here for Gags. Like, do I go for a triple barrel and I try and make Ryan fold a pair like this? Or do I check and then hope I can hit a 5, or that somehow my hand is good? Or bluff catch on the river too? You know, like that's the question. But he checks. It's a king on the ends. Now, I like a bluff from Gags on this river. Ryan checks. But let's think about how many kings does Ryan have that raises pre-flop, calls a 3-bet, and then calls on the flop? That's the main thing. How many kings call on the flop? There's no flush draw out there. So do we expect like king, queen to call? I like a bluff from Michael Gagliano. Does not do it though. Ryan Riess's tens is going to take it down and win the pot. I mean, I like a bluff, but like we're very methodical because you have the whole cards here. It's different in game. Like I can't guarantee that I would bluff on the king. I just thought it was an interesting spot there. So, Jimmy, this is copyright for Party Poker, who you have no affiliation with. But Team Online. Michael looks like the guy from Catfish. He does, actually. Was it Nevis or whatever? I remember meeting him. Not meeting him. First learning of him in a Casey Neistat video, because Casey's friends with Nevis and Max, right? Are those the guys? Yeah. I like those guys. They're cool. I just like Casey Neistat and his whole crew of people. I just think I like New York creative scene, man. Just a swaggy bunch of people, man. Just getting after things, you know? I wish I could be a part of it. But I can't play online poker in New York. If I could play online poker on Party Poker in New York, I'd probably move there if America would let me. I doubt they would. But I'd at least rent an apartment for a couple months. Me Zoomer, what's up, Woofer Boofer? We got a Zoomer in the building, chat. I think so, Meister. All right, so picking up the action here. Faraz with the ace-8 in the big blind against Michael Gagliano's 5s. Gagliano raised pre-flop, goes for c-bet on the king-king-8, and Faraz is going to check raise the ace-8 here, which I like it. This is actually a pretty gangster move. Like, yes, Faraz loses to a king. But you got to think about all the bluffs that Michael Gagliano is going to have in this spot, you know, that have some equity against ace-8, right? So I think this is kind of a cool move from Faraz, and not one you'd see very many people do. Now, as played, Gagliano's going to call. We go to a deuce of clubs turn. Faraz check raising to deny equity, has the best hand, and is not particularly vulnerable. We can see Gags only has 5% to win this hand right now. Faraz betting again. This I don't like as much because I don't know if this is a value bet or if it's still a protection bet, in which case you don't need to protect, or if it's a bluff and trying to get better hands to folds, which I don't think it ever will. So I think it's too thin to value bet and not a great bluff. We would let you in as far as Party Poker in New York, not this lifetime. I think it'll happen this lifetime, I do. But I don't think it's going to happen in the next 5 years for, like, global player pool, is my guess. I'm vibing, bro. Woofer boofer. Come on, man. Get your vibe on. Faraz Jaka taking it down on the turn. Where's the mouse?
1 hour levels. Starting at midday.
Dealer's hair, though. Hair is a big hit so far. Dealer hair. Alexandros raises it up to 20,000. Carlos on the button with a 6 suited. He's going to play. Calls.
Just a flat call on the button. 6 suited.
Take 2K back. There you go.
How many are left in the tournaments? A lot. This is day 1A, the Rev QT. So this is the first day of the coverage. So we don't even have like the field size information yet because day 1B is the day that follows this. We go to a flop. Carlos flops good here with the top pair of 6s. Alexandros has 2 overcards to that pair and is the pre-flop raises. So let's see what he elects to do. But he's going to check here, which I think is the standard move. And Carlos with a6 should certainly bet. A lot of bad runouts. Not too concerned about getting check raised on this board. Definitely a spot you want to bet here. How many are left? Yeah, right. I already read that. Jonathan Little in this. I'm assuming he is. He's probably in day 1B or on a different table. I'm assuming he is, but I don't know yet. This is the first I've seen of the coverage. So we're watching day 1A here. You know, I know who ended up winning the tournament through reporting on it in my weekly podcast, but that's it. So I don't know any of the stories or who runs deep or what have you. Carlos does bet with the a6 and takes it down. Okay. Clean. Is your podcast on iTunes? Not yet, Stray Wolf. I want it to be there. Obviously, it should be there. I'm doing it in collaboration with Party Poker, and we haven't got it released on all the audio listings yet. So hopefully that happens soon, and then we can have it out there. Right now it's on YouTube, so on the Party Poker channel on YouTube as well as on my YouTube channel. I'm releasing it. I released one with John Duthie just 2 days ago. It's amazing. Like, John Duthie is such a legend. It was a great conversation, so definitely check that one out. You guys, like, add that to your list, put in your reminders, whatever. Like, John Duthie one is great. I think we have another unreleased podcast yet to release as well. So, yeah. Just listened to your Cracking Aces interview. Awesome stuff. Cheers. Yeah, that was a fun one. All right. Ryan Riess raised it up. Michael Gagliano three betting under the gun +2. Okay. It is kind of a tough spot here with King Queen because you don't love calling. You have the potential to go 3 or 4 ways with King Queen offsuit. You don't love that. So getting it heads up and or getting your opponent to fold is a good idea. Ryan Riess flopping trips. This is pretty unlucky for Michael Gagliano. I think this is a c-bet bluff every time, but of course we can see Ryan Riess has ace-queen and is never folding here in any situation. I mean, I don't even think he could fold if it went king on the turn, jack on the river of like spade, spade, or club, club, or diamond, diamond. Diamond, diamond, I guess would be technically the worst one. King of diamonds, jack of diamonds is the worst run out for Ryan Riess, and he's just not folding. So he's prepared to go with it. Michael Gagliano betting 65,000 here into about 220, which I think is right. I think it's a fine bet. Ryan Riess raises to 180,000. I don't get this. I think you should just call. He's going to get a bet from trip aces on the turn of the river. Like, trip aces is always going to go for 2 streets. He's not going to get all of the money from like kings, queens, jacks, 10s by check raising here. He might get a call from the check raise, but then they're going to fold the shove. So I think Ryan Riess should just call here. But, you know, these are both American players. I know they play against each other a lot. Michael Gagliano is a representative of the Borgata. Ryan Riess plays a lot of the U.S. events. you know, in Florida and all over the country, the World Series of Poker. So they have a history. There could be some sort of like leveling thing where it's like, all right, I'm going to raise because I think he's going to react this way, or we have this history. You know, it's going to look like I'm trying to bully him, etc. So we don't really know all the factors, but to me, I like calling with the ace queen there. Yeah. He's scared of pocket fours. He's definitely not scared with the ace queen. Barbecue banjos. I mean, ace queen, there's no concern in that situation. You're not afraid, you're just kind of that's why I don't really like the raise. You know, it's like let your opponent bluff some. Cover players' cards next pot and see if you can put them on cards they have. From Jay Cartman. I wouldn't be able to call out the exact hand. I'd be able to call out a range, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you play aces and jacks the same way. Sometimes you play ace king and ace 10 the same way. In certain situations, you know, which... So the guess the hand game, you're not always going to be right on that. They probably have a piece of each other, lol, from Meister. But the math doesn't check out on that, you know. If you have a piece of someone else, maybe you swapped like 5% on the high ends. It's just like, well, you're not going to let your 5% swap have more chips when you have like, let's just assume, you know, like 60% of yourself. You know, you don't want to let your swap off the hook and leave, you know, 200,000 chips in the middle to save your 5% having 200K more. Like that. That's why I don't think the swap thing makes sense, because you always have the most interest in yourself and your own success in the tournament. You know what I mean? So mathematically, it never makes sense to you know, soft play your swaps. It never makes sense unless you have a higher percentage in them than of yourself, and then it creates issues, right? But yeah. Do you think you're better than BBZ? This might be controversial, but I don't. No, definitely not, man. BBZ's very good at poker, dude. Very good at poker. I am not as good as him. I could be as good as him one day, though. It's possible, man. It's possible. But I haven't earned it. Did they swap more than 50%? We don't know how much they swapped, but I have never heard of that, a 50% swap before in like a higher stakes tournament like this. Most of the times when players swap at these levels, you hear like 1%, 2%, 2.5%, max of like 5%, and you don't really hear of anything more than that.
Does decide to check it back. Obviously a board that should favor the big blind over the button open.
All right, so 6-5 is feeling pretty good here for Angelico. And Adrias has a gut shot. And the big blind. It's not a bad spot to start bluffing, but he checks, which we can see is a good move, because Angelico has a hand you wouldn't expect to really hit this. You know, you wouldn't expect him to hit this board very often. So it's kind of it's a fun one for Angelico, who's going to bet 100,000, no, 25,000 here. I know you play almost exclusively online from Raising Air. We wonder if you could provide your thoughts, comments on the recent evolution of live poker tournaments, specifically big blind antes, shot clock, time extension tokens. Yeah, so I've played a few big blind ante tournaments. I think it's much faster. I don't think it changes the game really at all. 9 of clubs in the end. Probably going to go check here. Unless Adrias decides to lead as a bluff, which I would like. I think 2 passive here with the ace-deuce. And Angelico, I think this is too thin to value, but I mean, you're really hoping to get called by a 4, you know? It's just not a good spot to value bet, I don't think. I think it's a big ask to get ace high to call as well. Does go for the bet of 70,000. I'd be very surprised to see ace high call in the spot. Like, that 9 of clubs is a very reasonable card to hit the turn bets. So, yeah, I think it's just a bad spot for Andreas to call. I mean, Even deuce blocks some of the draws that you're hoping your opponent has as well. Not that we often expect, you know, Angelico on the button to have like deuce 3 suited or ace deuce or something, but I wouldn't like a call here. Can I triple barrel every hand in poker and win? Depends on your opponents. Oh my god. Angelico with the thinnest value bet ever, dude. 7s and 5s with a 9 kicker. Prince it. That is sick. That is a sick, thin value bet. You feel like a boss when you get that through, man. Damn.